MacVoices 2024 Holiday Gift Guide number 6, Part 1. This is MacVoices. Today's edition of MacVoices is supported by the MacVoices Dispatch, our weekly newsletter that keeps you up with everything MacVoices is doing. From our published episodes to Chuck's other appearances to special events and more, subscribe at macvoices.com/newsletter and stay fully informed so you don't miss a thing. Welcome to MacVoices. This is the talk of the Apple community, and I'm Chuck Joyner. Folks, we're starting to wind down the gift guide series, but we're not done yet. I am happy to have 3 terrific panelists here. This might be the most diverse panel we've had. The question is, will the gift picks be as diverse? I have confidence. Just so you know how this works, we do 4 rounds, 1 gift pick each for each panel member, and that gives you theoretically 16 minimum gifts to give or get for this holiday season. You can find the links to everything we pick in the show notes of this episode. You can also find them, the master list on the MacVoices blog under the news section. And you can also find the picks in our MacVoices 2024 Holiday Gift Guide on Flipboard, which you can access on the Flipboard app, which is the best way to do it. But you can also access it with RSS and also, I lost it, on the web as well. So with that, let's find out who's here, and we will get to it. And to keep myself sane, I'm going to do a clockwise from my screen and introduce Kelly Guimont first. Kelly, it's good to have you. I'm so glad you were able to make this year's gift guides.
Yeah, me too. I always like coming because it's just as much fun to figure out what kind of things I want to put on the gift guide myself as it is to hear what everyone else has for their own picks. So I appreciate very much every time I get to show up.
Oh, it's always a blast. Thanks so much for coming. Next up, Mr. Ben Roethig is here, who just recently won the annual holiday trivia quiz on the Mac Show on the British Tech Network. So, King Ben, good to see you.
It's good to be here, Chuck. I've been enjoying the guide so far.
Good. Well, that's good. I hope we've helped you spend some money. Last but absolutely not least, coming to us from the UK, Mr. Kirk McElhearn. Kirk, great to have you as well.
Good to be back, Chuck. Haven't seen you in a long time.
I realized when we were starting to correspond about this, it's like, how long has it been? This is crazy. So
probably a year or so.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and look, but I'm afraid to know that it's that long.
Well, you know where to. The problem is. Crazy. Wise, it's a little bit difficult because for you, it's what? It's 5 hours, so it's 3 in the afternoon. For me, it's after 6. It's already dark here in the UK in winter, so it doesn't. It's hard to fit it in with the times that you offer in your thing. What's it called? Doodle, whatever your calendar
Doodle.
thing.
Yeah, I use the Doodle to schedule
time zone, but we managed to sort it out. Okay, so my cat. Leaving, so I'm just going to clean the cat hair off my lap here. Quickly. Yes, he likes to listen to me talk when I'm recording podcasts, so he comes to sit on my lap, and he stays 15 minutes, and then he hops off and leaves all sorts of hair. Anyway, he is not going to be one of my gift recommendations.
Darn. All right. Well, if it's okay with you, we'll keep the same order. And so, Kelly, that gives you the first pick for this holiday gift guide.
Okay, so mine are all very interactive, and I have a theme this year. I actually managed to have long enough because we missed each other a couple of times, so I was able to put together something a little more focused. And I like my left field picks. So my first pick is a travel water bottle. And what I mean by a travel water bottle is to get technical, it smunches down really small so that it doesn't take up a lot of space. For example, when you go through TSA and would have to dump it out anyway, or you just want to make sure you've got something in case you need it. So I have 2 picks. The first is one that I've had for a long time and love, and this is from a company called, I think they say Cnoc. I've said Cnoc forever. And this is a local company here in Portland, and they make these. And this bottle is the Trail Keepers of Oregon edition. They have a few others, and they make a lot of gear for section hikers and through hikers. And this one, if I take the lid off so it's not full of air, smushes down this far. And they give you the little, again, to get technical, they give you the little strappy-doo for this. So what I've been doing is when I put it together, I just put this around the bottom and then toss it in my bag. And it's great. The stuff that it's made of is really durable. It lives in my backpack with all kinds of other things, some of which are sharp and sort of pointy. And I've never had a problem with it. It holds, I think it's a liter of water. Yeah, this is a 32 ounce or a 1 liter bottle. And you fill it, and one of the nice things about it, excuse me, one of the nice things about it is that when you drink out of it, it still stays upright. A lot of, like, I've had the platypus one for a long time that I would roll up and put in my bag that was like a little collapsible bottle, and it was great, but as soon as you started drinking out of it, like if it wasn't full, it was hard to get it to like sit on the table or on the floor next to you or whatever. Like it wasn't a very stable thing once it was like only partially full. So I'm going to slide in with that. If you want something a little more structured, a little more flat, this is from a company out of Bend, which is still relatively local to me. And this is one I just discovered this summer that I love, that is called the HYDAWAY bottle. And it comes in a couple of sizes and a bunch of colors. And it pops out like this. And this middle part is hard. Like if you squeeze it, it's a solid thing here. And you can, if you don't want a complete bunch of water, you can make it, half height and hold up. And there's a little ring on the bottom that you use to pull on it. It's food grade silicone. Rinse it out, put stuff in it. It doesn't retain smells or anything like that. And super great. They make a few other things too, but this is the one that I have. I haven't bought anything else from them yet, but it's super great for being super structured, and you smush it up flat, and then it only takes up this much space in your bag, which is pretty awesome. I'm having a hard time getting it, of course, because now I'm live on the show. There we go. So it's really flat, and it's got the nice flip top. So if you're not a person that likes to unscrew the top completely and pour it down your throat, you've got the little straw tip here that you can use with that. Relatively easy to clean, and their customer service people are awesome. So I had a shipping issue with my order, and they immediately were on top of it and helped me out. You can get them on Amazon, and it's got the little handle as well, so you can, if you need to clip it to something, whatever. These are super great. So that's my first pick. Water bottle.
Sure.
Have
Very
one.
nice.
Have them everywhere, and they're easy to put, like down the side of your bag, in that pocket in your backpack that you don't use very often, side of your suitcase, whatever, so that you've got a hydration option, because more and more there are a lot of places that have a filling station for water bottles and things. And it just makes it easier, going forward. So yeah.
Nice. Didn't see that one coming. All right, Ben, what's your first round? What is your first round pick?
Okay. My first pick is going to come, well, it's an updated version of something I have used for years and completely love. It's the Logitech MX Anywhere 3S compact mouse. It is accurate as all hell. It is comfortable. It is nice for people with small hands. And I mean, in my opinion, it is the best productivity mouse you can get if you like a compact.
Very nice. So is it, do you consider this strictly a gaming mouse, or is this a productivity mouse, or can it go both ways?
I have used it for gaming. The 3S has an even better sensor on it with a better DPI. It's definitely capable of gaming. It's not going to give you stuff like RGB, but it does give you 3 colors, including pink, if you like that type of thing. But it's just a good mouse. What I really like, it's got a toggle on the click wheel, where it can go from either kind of this really tactile mode, but you can click that button and it just becomes ultra silent. It's just a phenomenal product. That with the 3S got even better.
Very nice. Okay, great. Kirk, round one.
I'm a huge fan of that mouse. It's a good one. I've used it myself a lot. So yeah.
It wasn't going to be my first pick, but given Ben's pick, I'm going to choose it's called the Logitech MX Master 3S for Mac. For a long time, I've been using a trackpad. I really liked the first Magic trackpad, which wasn't too big, and the second Magic trackpad, which is wide, I couldn't get comfortable with. And I noticed, about a year ago, I was having shoulder pain, and I kind of realized that position of the trackpad where the hand doesn't move was developing pain in my shoulder. So I picked one of these up, and it's got 2 buttons. It's, it's like a proper mouse. Wait, I just pressed it and it just did something there. It's got 2 buttons. It's got a wheel. It's got 2 buttons on the side. It's got 2 more buttons on the side. There's so many buttons, I don't know what to do. I think you can pair it to 3 different devices. There's a thing in the bottom, 1, 2, 3. I don't do that. The shape is one of these, I want to say faux ergonomic, right? It's not like a stand-up mouse, but it's like, I have large hands, and so this fits really well. It's quite comfortable. And this is the first mouse that I've used seriously for, I want to say 20 years. I've been using trackpads for a really long time. I think I picked this up when I saw some review when it came out a year ago, and I said, I should try this. I haven't tried a mouse in a long time. And I'm just looking what it costs. It's not cheap. It cost here in the UK, when I bought it, it was £95. So that would be about $120, although maybe it's $100 in the US. Expensive for a mouse, but this is my job. So having something comfortable and that's alleviated my shoulder pain is really worth it. So yay, Logitech. Some demerits to Logitech, that they have this Logi Options app that you use to configure, and they've added all this AI stuff in to, like, if you press certain things, you can have AI prompts. I'm like, seriously, it's a mouse. We don't need that.
This is a mouse that makes a regular appearance on the gift guides because it gets such great ratings. And I'm not, Kirk, I'm like you. I've been tempted because I love the idea of multiple control buttons, but I just never can seem to keep enough of my desk clear to use a mouse. I've used trackpads, trackballs. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I knew that. I knew that was coming. But I've always just used those and found those plenty precise. So, but if you're doing it, maybe. But the only thing is that's a right-handed model. I don't even know if they make a left-handed model.
I don't know if they make a left-handed.
Do they? Oh, shoot, Kelly. Yeah. Thanks a lot.
Well,
you're not helping.
In the vertical, I think they do. Well, I actually am. I'm just helping you make your life better. Mr. Kelly has the mouse in question, and it's a great mouse. And the thing that I love about it is the multi-device. I know Kirk said he wasn't using that, but one of the things that Mr. Kelly does with his a lot is he will bring home a work computer and plug it in and like switch the monitors over so he can sit at that little setup behind me there, and his PC from work can sit there, and then all he has to do, because he has the coordinating keyboard that goes with it from Logitech, and so he hits the button on each of them, and now he's typing and using the mouse on a whole other computer, and then when he goes back to his Mac, he just hits the button again, and they switch back, because there's only 2 devices, so when you hit it, it just goes, well, here's the other one, I'm going to hook to that. And so but it works really well. He is also very grumpy about the nonsense they've been adding to Logi Options. But like as a mouse goes, it's great. I think it was the MX Master 2 that when it first came out, Bob Levitas and Brian Chaffin came on the Mac Observer Daily Observations podcast and just talked about how much they loved that mouse. There was a whole episode that was just, this mouse is so fantastic. I just needed to be able to tell people about it. They both were just like junior high girls going, oh my God, I love this mouse so much. So yeah, that the 3 just refined all of that into even better stuff. So I've recommended it to a number of people in a professional capacity at work, and they've all been really happy with it as well.
Okay. I'm not interested in the keyboard because Touch ID. I work with an iMac, and I just want the Touch ID keyboard. Yeah. I don't think Apple's going to ever let any parties do that. And I find the Magic quite comfortable.
Yeah,
I hate it, but I can't give up the Touch ID.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate typing on that keyboard so much, but the trade-off is too much for not having Touch ID. So yeah.
For me, it's fine. The travel is just what I want. The softness of the keys, the size, the spacing, and everything. The low profile on the desk is exactly what I want. But yeah, I wouldn't give up Touch ID. It's too important.
Yeah, I mean, the same here. I prefer the feel of the MX Master keyboard, but I prefer using this.
Well, my first round pick, I'm going to go a little bit different direction. And Kirk, I'm anxious to hear what your reaction is to this. I actually have a prop here. This is a ShiftCam. And unfortunately, my phone is not where I can get to it, or I would mount it in it. But bottom line is, this is a MagSafe connection. And it locks in, that it pairs by Bluetooth. So you have a shutter release right here. This is great for photos, but I prefer it. I use it more for video because it's a lot easier to hold the camera steady this way. Even if I have to grab it this way and hold it, the whole thing just feels better. But it also facilitates one-handed shooting, especially if you're going to do it for photos. I've been using this for a number of projects this year, and I absolutely love it. And so I would encourage anyone, if you feel like you want to improve maybe your photography or videography, especially if you're doing a lot of it and you want some of those easier controls, it's perfect. There are several things out there that try to create that camera feel, or that DSLR, I guess, function. But this is the best one I found. It's not heavy. It's light, so it's not like you're going to be trying to prop your arm up the whole time. And it comes in lots of colors. This is just the one I happened to get. So
now, Chuck, is that the one that also has the power bank in it?
No, this particular one does not. But okay. Yeah, you can.
That option is available though.
Yeah, you can get them. You can get them with power banks, but I just didn't feel like there was a real big, huge need for that. Yeah. So
well, I have one of those from a different company, and I found out that ShiftCam makes one that has the little power bank in it, and I like the idea of just the nudge of battery. You know, if I hook it up to something because I'm going to want it like you, I would want it for video. You know, something to be a little bit more stable than just using my hand, and anything you can do to help that out is always good. So, yeah.
There have been other devices like that in the past, but the problem was that they would rely on the Lightning connector, and now they're updating to USB-C. But if the phone changes size, you can't use them anymore. So the fact that it's MagSafe, I think, is a really good idea. Anything, you may disagree with me, anything is better than the horrendous camera control that they put on the iPhone 16, which is totally useless.
I've tried to get used to it. I'm working on it. I do like the idea that I can do with any control. I can do as more of a controlled zoom, but it's so sensitive that it's tough. Usually in the past, yes, I can pinch and zoom, but that just is so clunky. When you're trying to shoot live, you just hit the button. Okay, I'm regular. Then I'm hit the next setting, then the next setting, and it would zoom in or zoom out. And it's like, okay, that's just an artifact of doing it. But I really have found I love this. It doesn't solve that particular problem, but it does solve the shutter control problem and the pressing problem and all that. So that's my first round pick. So that means we go to round 2, and Kelly, you're up for round 2.
So my round 2 pick is adorable. I'm going to just open with that. And it's a game. And the game is called Thank Goodness You're Here. And you can see the trailer at the URL thankgoodness.game. And it was developed by a game studio in the UK, but it's published by Panic Software, which is a software company here in town, which is how they're local. And it is very, very cute. You play a traveling salesman, and you show up in this little town in the north of England, and you are pressed into service to perform very silly tasks for the people who live in the town. And it's silly and fun and it's not a shoot 'em up game, and you can get it on loads of platforms. There's a macOS version. You can get it for Steam. It's on the Epic Games Store, PlayStation 4 and 5, I believe, and Nintendo Switch. I have it on the Switch, and it's fun. It's lightweight. If you have a Switch or know someone with a Switch who's kind of gotten all they're going to ever get out of Animal Crossing, or they've beat all the Zelda games that are out now, or they're done with Mario, the latest Mario game, then this is a fun one that you can get. And it's not one that requires a lot of, first-person shooter knowledge. It's not an online thing where, like, kids are going to come swear at you and camp out on a spawn point and make it not fun if you're not very good at video games or anything like that. So it's a lot more fun. It's a little puzzlier and sort of like a cozy mystery, but in a video game. And if you look at the page, you'll see like the style of the whole thing. It's adorable. And I think it's a lot of fun. The price varies depending on the platform, which is why I haven't said it's this much. But it's cute, and it gives you an opportunity to because I don't, on certain game purchasing mechanisms, I don't know if you can just buy the game and gift it to another person, but you can always buy a gift card. If you know someone has a Nintendo, you can get them a Nintendo gift card or a PlayStation gift card, or I think there's Steam gift cards. Ben might know. And you can share it with somebody, and here you go. I saw this game and thought you would appreciate it. And since one of the things I love most in all the world is adorable things from countries that are not the United States, this obviously, as soon as it hit my radar, I had to go check it out, and it's a lot of fun.
Very nice. Very nice.
Then what I will do is I will add the bonus pick that goes with mine if you want to team that up with something for people. This is a controller that I own and love very much, and it's called the NYXI Wizard. And it will look familiar because it's going to look a lot like an old Nintendo controller, because it is designed exactly to look like an old Nintendo controller. But because it's for the Nintendo, it's the kind that splits in half. So you can stick these on the sides of your Switch, and they are so comfortable to use. It is such a great item to have. I'm so happy with it. And in fact, friend of the show, Jeff Gamet, I showed this to him the day I got it. I unboxed it, I think, on In Touch with iOS. Like, we were done, and I said, get a load of this thing, and showed it off. And then Chuck, much like you, Jeff had the reaction of, well, crap, you just spent a bunch of my money, and I'll both love and hate you in a week when it gets here. And, but, ultimately, his life was better for it. He will independently confirm that. I've heard it happen.
Ben, you made it back.
And now Ben's back.
Yes.
Yes. This is what happens when you actually accidentally press hang up instead of unmute.
User error.
What's this button for?
I love it. Yeah. Yeah. Somewhere in North Dakota, the missile covers start to slide across.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. This is going to be that is very much geared towards you if you have a 14-inch MacBook Pro. It is a InnoView 4K OLED 14-inch portable display. It is full DCI P3. Really good quality monitor. It's super cheap. It's currently $299 with a $40 coupon. And I mean, as we saw, we're recording another show today. Having more than one monitor can be advantageous. And if you have one of the newer mini LED MacBooks, well, having something that can match the color palettes to those is also advantageous, because normal LED looks like crap next to those.
Yeah, the whole, some of these portable monitors are phenomenal.
Yeah.
Especially from a productivity standpoint, because you're just looking for raw space. I know we've had at least one picked earlier in the gift guide, but the thing that I like about people picking some of the same product, different brands, is that means they've had experience with those brands and they can endorse them. because if you go onto Amazon, you can search on portable monitors, and there are a million of them, and you just never know.
Yeah.
So I like the fact that you can endorse this one, Ben, that you've had good luck with it.
Yeah. The other thing about this one compared to the Arzopa that I have and someone else has picked, this one is 16 by 10 instead of 16 by 9, which helps you with productivity.
Yep.
Yeah. Plus, if you're like Kelly and have a Switch and are a Switch fiend, let's just say your productivity is over for the day. You can just use it as a portable display for your game console.
Well, everyone I work with has some sort of portable monitor because we also occasionally work on machines that don't have a display connected. We are a managed services provider, and so we walk into a lot of situations where, for one reason or another, there's not a screen available, and you kind of need one for whatever the thing is that you're doing. So this makes it very easy to just have something in your backpack, right next to your laptop. That's a solid piece of kit for exactly those kinds of situations. The display is destroyed on this laptop, but I know the rest of the computer works. You can plug that in and move on with your day and be able to do what you need to do. Or servers that don't have screens, or you've got a Raspberry Pi pressed into service that is doing something weird and you got to plug a screen into it to figure out what's going on. And that's always a solid piece of hardware to have in your arsenal for that sort of situation. So we have lots and lots of uses for those.
Yeah. And these portable monitors, folks, if you are shopping for one, shop around, look at the ones we've recommended, but also pay attention to that little button that says, you can get an extra so much off, because that turns a really affordable portable monitor into a really, really affordable portable monitor. So, and those things come and go from each model. So just, make sure you pay attention if it's there to do it.
Yeah. And now's the time for deals.
Yeah. Real good pick. Kirk, round 2.
I'm going to change my second pick because Kelly picked a game, so I'm going to pick a game. I have never been a gamer. I played Space Invaders when I was young. That's how old I am. But I never owned a game console for a very long time. A little more than 2 years ago, I installed Steam on my Mac and I started looking at games, and I found this extraordinary game called The Long Dark. It's a survival game that's set in Canada, in the snow and the ice. And I just got so obsessed, I bought an Xbox because I got a big TV. And it's like the immersive thing is just impressive. So it's a first-person thing. There are multiple levels of difficulty, from the wolves don't attack me and there's lots of loot to everything attacks me and there's not much loot. And I play on the easiest one, and it's so chill to just wander around. And yes, you might get stuck in a blizzard and you have to know how to get out, and you got to get food by killing animals. But I find it really relaxing. Now, other people play on the hardest level that they call Interloper, and you end up, you spawn naked in one of the 12 regions of this place called Great Bear Island in Canada, and you have nothing but like a shirt and pants and no shoes, and you got to find things, and it's a real challenge. But I don't want to have the hassle of doing that. They just introduced a cougar into the game, and this is it just totally mauls you. But I just like the idea of, this game has a couple of things that most games don't have. There's no fast travel, so you've got to walk everywhere, and it takes time, and that's more immersive. There's permadeath, so if you die, you have to start all over from scratch, so you have to be really careful. It's got a really interesting community. I'm not a gamer, but there's this one Norwegian guy who's like a psychologist who does these streams and explaining everything, how to do it and all. And, you can get into the whole thing of inventory management and the best weight stuff. And anyway, it's a cool game if you like that sort of thing. And again, I'm not a gamer and I'm not into bang, bang games. Called The Long Dark. It's an indie studio. It's the first game they ever made about 10 years ago. The guy who runs the studio was in big game studios before that. It's 10 years old. They're just starting to tease a new game. But it's it's relaxing. Look it up. You'll see. And particularly, I like the art style, this kind of watercolor art style that's really attractive. It doesn't try to be realist. Anyway, Long Dark, check it out.
Very nice. Very nice. That sounds relaxing. I don't know if I will ever do it, but it sounds relaxing.
Well, getting attacked by timberwolves or cougars isn't very relaxing. But if you play at the simplest level where you don't get attacked, it's, blizzards can be relaxing, and climbing up mountains can be relaxing. So
the cat disagrees.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Well, that was Ben's, I think.
Yes.
Yes. Mine growled and ran away.
I was going to say, if it's a mountain lion, it's not so relaxing. Other types of cougars, we'll leave it to your imagination.
Yep.
Yeah, and it was right on cue, Ben, because it was just like, okay, Kirk is talking about getting mauled, and then there's this big meow.
Yeah, I've played this on PlayStation, and it's a lot of fun. They release additional chapters over time, like additional content you can get to continue playing stuff in the game. I don't think survival mode has them, but I think they're up to chapter 6 on the PlayStation side, but the Nintendo side isn't quite that far yet. So
they just released part. So there's a story mode of which there are 4 out of 5 episodes, and then they just released an update which they're calling Part 6 for an expansion pack that they started selling a year or so ago. They're always late for things. It's a small studio. Yeah. But a lot of the stuff they do put into the survival mode, it's like $20 to pay for the expansion pack. So if you're really going to play it, it's not a lot. But they're really good about the way they update things, and when they update things, they mostly work. It's nice to have a game studio that's not like Microsoft.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to go with the third round pick, and I'm going to throw this in the interview chat so you all can see it. If it'll go, and if it won't, then it won't.
I don't see anything about it.
Yeah, there we go.
There we are.
Big, long, ugly URL.
I don't see anything about it in Edge here.
Oh, okay.
It's
Sorry
okay
about that.
There's a little speech balloon up on the top right-hand side of the window, Kirk, and if you click on the little... Oh, no. Maybe not. Okay.
So I've been using a car trunk organizer for a long time to keep the things that you're supposed to keep in your car all the time. And I have yet to use anything that's been in the trunk organizer all the time. So I took it out because all it was doing was taking up space in my trunk. Then this year I found something that I use a lot. This is a very specific use case, but I found, and I want to make sure, I'm going to do my best to pronounce their name right, YOREPEK 2-layer golf trunk organizer for the golfers. It's so well designed. It lets you put in 2 pairs of golf shoes, and then it has multiple compartments for shirts, hats, golf balls, tees, whatever it is that you might need for your golf. It's one of those that has the Velcro attachments so that you can resize all the different compartments that you can build it into. And that worked well, but I found something even better. And that is I went to the dollar store and I got some of those really cheap little plastic trays and they fit perfectly into this. You just kind of build your desired compartments and to the size of those trays, drop them in. That means I can take those out, clean them easily, put them back in, and it also helps the whole thing retain its shape. But it's one of those things like this is purpose built for me, for something I need and want. And so instead of a trunk organizer that I wasn't using ever, I now have something that I am using. It also keeps everything in my trunk, together, which is great. And I can push it into the back of the trunk, pull it out when I need to. It is just something that really has changed the way I keep my trunk organized, because otherwise, inevitably, by about the 3rd week of the golf season, there are golf balls rattling around in my trunk all the time. And, you can hear them, and that's not, you start to wonder if there's something coming loose, and then you realize what they are. No more of that. Now everything to borrow the old phrase, there's a place for everything. Everything is in its place. I never forget things. I know when I'm running low on different supplies and can add them in. So if you're a trunk organizer person, great. If you're a golfer, this is even better. Find one trunk organizer that's built for something you do instead of just one of those like, well, in case I ever need this. And I never do. And
does it work in the boot?
Sorry, one more time.
Does it work if you put it in the boot?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
It says on the page it is also compatible with boots.
Yeah.
Both kinds.
Yes, I forgot who I was talking to, Kirk. Sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, this.
I still have trouble with words like that, like the boot and the bonnet. I still just think trunk and hood.
Yeah.
I've been here more than 2 years.
Yeah. The lesson here I want to impart, though, is that the simple trunk organizers, okay, they're great if that's what you really need them for, but there are different specialized pieces out there that may be better aligned to what you do. And this is for me. So any other
I like that
golfers
this
out
holds
there?
2 pairs of shoes, and that's a thing that looks really useful in it. Like especially for I would look at that and go, okay, like, you know, I have this instance where I need to have 2 different pairs of shoes or a place to put the shoes I'm wearing and swap them out for something else and have like a backup in there. And that seems really handy, you know, and that's not just an activity limited to golf. So this could be something you can apply to other stuff. But yeah, that's super cool. I think that's going on my list. So that's one for you, Chuck.
Good. I mean, you could use this for a lot of different things. It's just designed for a golfer, you know, because inevitably we want, you know, different pairs of spikes to wear under different circumstances.
Oh yeah.
If it's
I know dry, a couple of golfers. That's why this is going on my list.
Yeah. If you want, you know, if you're playing in dry conditions, you want this shoe. If you want playing in wet conditions, you want this shoe. Now I've got 2 places for 2 pairs of shoes. And the interesting thing is that it doesn't take up that much space for, you know, whereas the other trunk organizer was just, it seemed like it was blocking off half the trunk. So check it out if you're inclined.
One of the worst things about owning an electric car is the amount of space the cable takes up. And it's a thick cable, right? And you try to coil it and it doesn't really coil, and the plugs are this big. And so my trunk is like always a mess because the cable is like, takes up about 1/3 of the width, and it comes with like this little case, but the case doesn't close. It's really annoying. They should figure out a way to have like the cable that reels in like a gas station pump, and you pull it out from the car to plug it in when you charge, because that cable gets in the way.
That's an interesting thing. Kirk, I never thought about it. I wonder if they make any kind of organizers or bags for that would ease your discomfort.
Sort of a bag that's about this big, and if you put the cable in just right, you can reel it in. But it's a thick cable. It's very stiff. It's not like, you know, a normal power cable. It's like 1 inch thick. It's got to be, you know, well insulated because it's outdoors. So it's messy. It takes up a lot of space. You can't pile anything on top of it.
Yeah. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with MacVoices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices, or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you Mac Voices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com.